Beautiful, light, and flexible, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was built like no other suspension bridge. It was unique in its design and incredible in its appearance. But on November 7, 1940, it all came crashing down. The collapse was one of the great tragedies in engineering history. Never had a suspension bridge so important met its end so catastrophically. But the Tacoma Narrows Bridge's true legacy was not in the frantic headlines generated by its collapse, but in the revolutionary changes it brought to the world of engineering and bridge architecture. That was Galloping Gertie's triumph. In the 1920s, America was prospering and optimistic. Skyscrapers and bridges were seen as symbols of elegance and power. Then, with the 1930s depression, cheaper and more efficient bridges were needed. As a result, bridges were made as simple as possible, graceful and slender works of art, beginning a trend towards light, flexible bridges. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge was proposed to connect the Olympic Peninsula and the Washington mainland. The Washington State Department of Transportation appointed Clark Eldridge to design the bridge. Eldridge's plan was examined by an out-of-state engineering consultant, the world-famous suspension bridge designer Leon Moseff. Moseff suggested replacing the 25-foot deep stiffening truss with an 8-foot shallow plate girder. Conforming to the trend, this lessened the cost of the bridge and gave it a slender, artistic appearance. In 1939, construction of the $6 million bridge began. On July 1, 1940, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge officially opened. It was the third longest suspension bridge in the world. Thousands of people attended the ceremonies. Thousands more worldwide were intrigued by the bridge's extraordinary width-to-length ratio and its exceptional flexibility. But the Tacoma Narrows Bridge had an even more fascinating characteristic: its bounce. Engineers were puzzled by these strange oscillations, but they did not doubt the bridge's safety. In fact, the bridge's movement attracted thousands of people who crossed the bridge just for the exhilarating experience of watching the car in front of them disappear. For this, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was quickly nicknamed